Well, welcome everybody. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Thanks for coming out. You can see people are starting to wind down, going into the holidays, but the work of the people is never finished. So we are here today to make some major exciting announcements. I want to thank Kroger. I see a bunch of Kroger folks in the house for hosting us here. Thank you all so much. I saw Tim McGurk. This, as everybody knows, is one of the busiest shopping days of the year, and this is Louisville's first Kroger marketplace level of the store, and it's just a beautiful store doing all kind of work out here. It's a $23 million investment in expanded grocery and retail offerings here in Southwest Louisville, and it's very representative of the renaissance that's taking place here on Dixie Highway, and it's a really appropriate place for us to get together because the project we're going to be talking about today is going to have a direct impact on retailers like Kroger, as well as all of the small businesses, retail centers, and professional offices, and then logistics companies right off Dixie Highway here as well. Everybody knows that Dixie Highway is a super, super busy corridor. So the ability to move goods and people safely and efficiently through this part of the community is central to both the safety and quality of life of the people who work and live here, not to mention the success of the businesses along the corridor as well. That's the good news. Now, Dixie Highway, unfortunately, has a well-documented history as one of the most dangerous roadways and a confusing roadway here in Louisville. It's wide, has hundreds of access points, just a handful of medians, a handful of crosswalks and sidewalks in some places that are narrow or non-existent. So when this road was built before the interstate system, it suited its purposes, but not for today. So as a result of this, unfortunately, we hear too many fatalities along Dixie Highway. In fact, 3 times higher than comparable Kentucky roads. That's not acceptable. We all know that. And I'm happy to say that we're making changes to that so we can put that piece of the history of Dixie Highway to bed. So today, we're officially launching the full construction phase of the $35 million new Dixie Highway project. So including this project, we will, over a period of about 2 years, invested more than $50 million in transportation improvements along the 14-mile wide or 14-mile long Dixie corridor. So when you think about this work historically, it's the largest concentrated investment of transportation dollars in Louisville since we began the Ohio River Bridges project in our downtown and East End. So that's quite a commitment of dollars here. And these are hard-fought dollars. They really take a partnership to make this happen. From the federal level, the state level, and the local level, all that comes together to help us transform Dixie and create a more safe and more efficient and certainly a more attractive corridor as well. I want to especially thank the Honorable Elaine Chao, who's with us here today. The Secretary of Transportation, of course, looks over the entire United States of America. And that's a lot to say grace over. But we also appreciate that she has a special place in her heart here for her hometown in Louisville. So thank you and welcome, Secretary Chao.
Thank you so much.
As promised earlier this year, we've already completed work on the I-264 Dixie interchange, including a sidewalk for much-needed pedestrian connectivity and accessibility. The part of the project we're launching today will be an even more transformative part, making the 14-mile corridor safer for the thousands who use it every day, especially for those who are living and working in Valley Station, Pleasure Ridge Park, and all of Southwest Louisville. It will include medians throughout the busiest 4-mile stretch of the highway, which will also make the roadway much more attractive, which was a big request of the citizen groups that we pulled together on this project, and then limit mid-block left turns that slow traffic and also increase danger. We're going to widen the sidewalks, better define crosswalks, and create a ribbon of distinctive bus stations for the region's very first bus rapid transit line. So that'll be cool for our city to see that. We're also going to be investing in technology to improve signal timing and traffic flow. Has anybody ever been at a red light before and you're like going, why will this not turn green? Okay, that's what signal timing and traffic flow is all about. So not only will it move us quicker so we can get to where we want to faster, but also improves our gas mile, or excuse me, it helps us extend the money we're spending on gas and improves our air quality as well. So we get a lot of benefit out of that. Also, the signalization as it relates to the bus rapid transit line, when the bus is coming through, it knows to prioritize that bus. So that's very good reason for people to get on the bus. I want to say thank you to our friends at TARC. Cedric Powell is over here. He's done a great job as the chairman of TARC for many years. So Cedric, thank you, buddy. I also want to thank the hundreds, thousands of people that have been involved in putting this project together. Our Metro Council members and state legislators have put countless hours into helping us identify solutions along this complicated corridor. Community leaders, including the new Dixie Highway Advisory Team, the Southwest Dream Team, I've seen Vince Jarbo here, and the Dixie Area Business Association, they've all participated in visioning sessions and master planning, so I know everybody's great to see it coming to fruition right now. Okay, and one message that has come through loud and clear, people obviously want and they deserve roadways that feel safe, they move efficiently, and they look good too. And that's what they're about ready to get. Our city's got great momentum right now, 70,000 new jobs, 2,500 new businesses, $12 billion in capital construction going on in the city. So it's just appropriate that Dixie Highway here is a big part of that as well, because we want everybody in the community to be feeling that momentum. So the work will be getting started soon, and let's get some more details on that. So first, I want to introduce the 18th United States Secretary of Transportation, an immigrant who arrived in America at the age of 8, speaking no English, a woman who has devoted her professional career to ensuring that others can access opportunity and build better lives for their families. Secretary Chao served as the 24th United States Secretary of Labor from 2001 to 2009, the first Asian American woman to be appointed to a president's cabinet in American history. As I mentioned, she's a Louisville resident, and she's the only Kentuckian to have been appointed to a president's cabinet since World War II. Her distinguished career in the public, private, and nonprofit sectors includes serving as President and Chief Executive Officer of the United Way of America, Director of the Peace Corps, Deputy Secretary of Transportation, Maritime Administrator, and Deputy Maritime Administrator. She began her public career working in the White House Office of Policy Development after serving in the private sector as a transportation banker. So folks, what you just heard there was the biography of a truly amazing individual that has dedicated her life to public service. And for that, we are truly grateful. Please welcome Secretary Chao.
Thank you for that very warm introduction, Mayor. It is great to be home. And it's great to be here for the beginning of the groundbreaking of the transformation of the Dixie Highway Corridor project. As a fellow Kentuckian, as a Louisvillian, I am especially pleased that the U.S. Department of Transportation is providing $16.9 million to this project. This money is going to provide better, faster transit and improved traffic flow for our city's commuters, and that's very important. This project, as you've heard, will make street improvements along the 14-mile Dixie Highway corridor through the south end of Louisville. These improvements will include safety upgrades for pedestrians, improved intersections, raised medians, turn lanes, and better signage as well. It will also install bus rapid transit infrastructure and intelligent transportation system upgrades to improve traffic flow and provide traffic signal priority. These improvements will enhance the local investments in new buses, bus stops, and kiosks. And it's important to note that these improvements will not only save time for commuters and travelers, but also save lives. So this project gives the state and local government the flexibility and the control to design their own transportation solutions. You know, we forget, but the Dixie Highway was built over 100 years ago. It was a visionary project. But things have changed in the last 100 years. Louisville has grown, and so has the traffic. And so the Dixie Highway corridor has become the city's busiest transportation corridor. And we know what that means, delays and inconveniences for our community. So this improvement will be a tremendous economic asset for the community and also to the south end of Louisville and to all of Kentucky as well. I'm so pleased to be here at home to be able to participate in this wonderful milestone ceremony. And I also want to acknowledge someone who's very important, and that's the Federal Highway Administration's Kentucky Division Administrator, Thomas Nelson, who is here with us today as well. So as a fellow Kentuckian, I'm so delighted that the U.S. Department of Transportation is able to contribute in such a vital way to improving the quality of life in the community that I love so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Let's now hear from another great partner, and that's Greg Thomas, the Secretary of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I feel honored to be a part of this effort to improve Dixie Highway. The mayor has already spoken to the partnership that exists, and I just want to say thanks again to federal, state, and city leaders coming together and making this project happen. Also, in terms of the Transportation Cabinet and this administration, we're proud to be investing $12 million into this project alone, and then overall over $30 million, $31.5 million in the entire Dixie corridor. And you know, with 60,000 trips a day, or more than 60,000 trips a day, this is an important project for the cabinet and a high priority for us. Secretary Chao, I'm going to be real quick, but Secretary Chao, I want to express my appreciation to you for your leadership at the federal level. There's probably a lot of work going on behind the scenes on the new infrastructure plan. I know there's a lot of work going on there, and also your willingness to talk to Kentuckians. She's had an open door policy from day one, and I just want to say thank you for that. Also, I'll echo your comments. Thomas Nelson, it's a true partnership with Federal Highways, and I just appreciate the partnership and the help you've given to me and to the cabinet over the last couple of years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Secretary Thomas. I want to acknowledge somebody who's not able to be here today because they had some late votes last night, and that's our Congressman John Yarmouth. We all know Congressman Yarmouth works tirelessly for the city here, and he was instrumental in helping us secure the almost $17 million Tiger Grant funding to get this project moving. So representing Congressman Yarmouth is the fabulous Nicole Yates here today. We appreciate what you do. Thank you. You know, these projects are complicated, and they involve everybody from the U.S. Secretary of Transportation all the way through our citizens. Our citizens' voice, of course, is heard through our Metro Council folks. So we have two Metro Council members who are here to speak with us today, and one in attendance, Cindi Fowler over here in her Christmas green, looking good. We appreciate that. So the first member of the council up is President David Yates. Mr. President.
Well, the mayor just touched on it. It takes all levels of government working together to make projects like this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is good government working. You have your local Metro Council, you have your state, and you have your federal government who's actually going to transform Dixie Highway. This transformation is not only going to be beautiful, but it's going to save lives. In addition to saving lives, it's going to protect the economic stability of the entire region and the neighborhoods within it. It's good government working for the constituents. The mayor touched just a little bit on the death toll, the fatalities, 3 times what other roads are, comparable roads. To everyone up here and those listening, I know it's not just numbers. Those are our constituents. Those are our friends. Those are our family members. And so not only are we improving the quality of lives, hopefully we're stopping the next funeral. Again, this is good government working together. This is going to be improvement for the pedestrians walking, the raised medians, the crosswalks. You're talking about 8-foot sidewalks in some areas. I mean, wow. I think you travel around, whenever we go places, I'll confess I'm a little bit of a nerd. I do a little bit of investigating anytime I go anywhere, and to see what can we have that other people do. And I think this is going to be right on. This is a top-rate improvement, and we owe it to not just the people up here, but so many people who work behind the scenes, countless hours. But one person I do want to mention who's coming up next is Councilman Rick Blackwell. Long before myself or the mayor was ever elected to office, Rick was pulling me aside at church, telling me about this vision that we can do to improve our community. And I think we owe so much gratitude to Rick and to so many other people like that who just continue to voice those concerns, including Councilwoman Cindi Fowler, who's been adamant about extending the Dixie improvement all the way to the end. And I think working together we'll continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Metro Councilman Rick Blackwell, as President Yates mentioned, he represents a good chunk of the community here where this improvement's going to take place, and he's been involved in the planning for this work since it was started as the Dixie Do-Over. We got a great councilman in Councilman Blackwell, and just within the past few days also it was announced that he will be the new president at DeSales High School. So he's a really good man. So please welcome Rick Blackwell.
Wow, that's a nice introduction. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of things that just to focus on a few things that haven't been touched on at this point. First, obviously lots of people to thank, and ditto all the thanks that have gone out to all the folks that have been involved in this thing from the very beginning. Especially, I want to mention State Rep Joni Jenkins too, and our state representatives and senators, but especially Joni Jenkins. She was very involved in the initial stages of going up and meeting with and begging the governor to put this money, and I was trying to think of a better way to say it, but that's what it was, begging the governor to get this money in the budget to begin to get this project up and going, and of course the current governor, Governor Bevin, for continuing the project as well. So lots of people to thank, of course. The bus rapid transit, we had a mention of the bus rapid transit. We're so excited. This mayor has been very committed to Southwest Louisville, and when we first did the another project, the library project, and we were doing the regional libraries, the mayor said, you know what, well, the first one we're doing is the Southwest Regional Library, and people in our district said, you know what, that doesn't happen very often. We usually say we're going to do three, and we rarely start here. This bus rapid transit is another example of his commitment to this end of town. We're having the bus rapid transit, which will grow, and there will be other lines, but the first one will be right here on Dixie Highway, and we're really excited about that. 30 distinctive buses that will be running the lines, and most exciting is the fact that you can go from downtown to the Gene Snyder in 1 hour. 1 hour. That is bus rapid transit. So really, really excited about that. That's huge for lots of folks who need the buses to get to jobs downtown, to get from downtown to Riverport, wherever it might be. We need those, and we're really excited about that. But the thing I'm most excited about, we mentioned we first originally called this the do-over, and we wanted to think about it. It was hatched in a meeting with the Dream Team, Southwest Dream Team, and we were meeting with developers about why we can't get developers to come in and do some work in our area. What are some of the problems that we have? And one of their suggestion was focus on one area and make it look like you care. Make it look like people in your area care about this area, because right now it doesn't. And so the focus on the Dixie Highway and the do-over was on the safety, as we mentioned, on getting the movement correct and getting people from point A to point B. But I remember having a meeting early on, and Jonathan West, I don't know if Jonathan's here, but Jonathan West was in it when he was still working with the state, and we were talking, and he said, we're moving from point A to point B, and I said, I know that's your role, moving from point A to point B, but does it have to be ugly? Is that in that manual too? Well, it's not. and it's not going to be. And so I want to thank those people who are willing to continue to focus on that as well, because there's a real tendency on any project, and particularly a project like this, to focus on the pragmatic, to focus on the safety, the pragmatic, let's just get this done, and not think about the beauty and those other pieces to it. But those pieces are huge to our end of town, and they're huge to development in this end of town. And so I want to thank everyone who continued to push that vision and continue to push for a safer and a more beautiful Dixie Highway. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilwoman Fowler, would you mind sharing a few words with us? Of course, we go all the way into your district, so please, won't you?
Thank you, Mayor. When I first came into office, the southern end from Gene Snyder south to the county line was not included in the do-over or the corridor project. So with the help of the councilmen out here, we partnered together. We have done a study, and I want to thank Jeff O'Brien and Urban One for that study. We just got it back this week. So hopefully that will be included in the do-over, and we will enjoy these amenities all the way to the county line. So thank you very much.
All right, so that's what a good council person is. See, she's up here pitching her district right here. Well done, well done. Okay. So let's hear now finally from somebody who also knows firsthand the impact that the project will have on this vital part of our community, and that is the great Mayor of Shively, Sherry Connor.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I'm really glad to see this project get started. Now, I realize the wheels run slow, but you know, the patience is beginning to wear a little thin on our folks out here, so I know they're all going to be thrilled as well. I hope they understand how hard everyone has worked to get this project funded, designed, and stay under budget. Oh, well, that's somebody else's problem, not mine. Matt, that'd be you, hon. Okay. We have proud citizens that live and work in the South End, and they deserve to see their hard-earned money go to work for them. I want to thank everyone who's been a part of the dream of the do-over, and I do think that was Rick Blackwell's words. I think he made that up. For their input, their diligence, and stay the course and see it completed. Okay, I have to mention my new ramp. I have to, sorry. Northbound Dixie. I know it's not technically part of this project, but we have not had one accident reported since that has been installed. And it was a daily event in Shively, so thanks to all those folks. Now we need to work on that roundabout. Matt, that's for you too. Or at least get me a left-hand turn onto Crumbs Lane off of Dixie. Anyway. That's another mission for you all and the DOT. Again, thank you, everybody. Shively is very proud to be part of this, and we appreciate everybody's input. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else to ask for here today? It is Christmas time.
Never hurts to ask.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just
Be thankful.
be thankful here.
I want to be thankful for the South Dixie repaving project, at least from Stone Street to Bethany Lane, is finally complete. Yeah. Thank you to the state and Hall's Construction for finally getting that done. Yeah. Nice Christmas present. Thank you.
All right. Well, it takes a partnership. You obviously can see that from everybody. So we appreciate it. Madam Secretary, shall we make this official? Let's do this.
Oh, okay.
This has been a Metro TV production, a public service of Louisville Metro government.